hang out just a minute. Let us know in the chat, where are you tuning in from this Friday? This Friday in the octave of Easter already. Okay, perfect. Instagram is coming in. There we go. Perfect. Amazing. So we are live everywhere. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Founder Friday, and Founder Friday, which is our it's our most casual show. It's the show of really just hanging out with me, with yours truly. We talk a little bit on Fridays about faith, some devotions that are relevant to the liturgical season. And then we also kind of give a little behind the scenes peek at Catholic Owned, what we're working on, and sort of my perspective as, you know, one of the founders of the company. So it's a really fun opportunity to spend some time together. So first off, welcome to Catholic Owned Live. This is the show where we talk honestly about faith, work, business, and vocation, and what it really takes to build the new Catholic economy. I'm your host, Brooke Joyner, and I'm honored that you're with me today. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central Time. And so I hope you'll make that part of your weekly routine to tune in live with us for 20-30 minutes. But I am honored you're with me today. The Friday show is Founder Friday. So it's the time that we get together, we talk about relevant liturgical feasts. So we have Divine Mercy this Sunday, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We also give a little behind the scenes. So I'm going to be providing an update on our upcoming event. And it's just a time for us to spend a little time together, a little end of the week, going into the weekend, getting ready for Sunday type of show. So thank you so much for being here with me. Let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. We are live on a few platforms, but I definitely want to be responsive to your comments. So be sure to let us know where you're tuning in from. So this Sunday is Divine Mercy Sunday, as you know. So I want to kick off talking about that. Divine Mercy Sunday is so incredible, and I know, it's one of our newer feasts in the church, but it is an extraordinary opportunity for us as Catholics to really, encounter the message of Divine Mercy, and we also have a special opportunity that I'm going to talk about a little bit that I think not enough people talk about, and I feel like it needs to be shouted from the rooftops. So anyway, I'm just going to kick off. Divine Mercy Sunday comes from the Divine Mercy devotion, of course, which was revealed to Saint Faustina, and that was in the 1930s. So, just almost 100 years ago. So this is definitely a newer devotion, a newer saint, and a newer practice in the church, but it's so timely. Our Lord spoke to Sister Faustina, revealing many things to her that were particularly relevant to the current times, the times that were current when he was speaking with her, but also in the century to follow, and certainly going forward. So then in the year 2000, Pope St. John Paul II instituted this feast day, Divine Mercy Sunday, and he did that at the canonization of St. Faustina, which is a beautiful selection of when to institute that. And I'll just read here. The Lord expressed his will for Divine Mercy Sunday to be a feast in the church. And this is in her diary, entry 699. And this is what he said. My daughter, tell the whole world about my inconceivable mercy. I desire that the Feast of Mercy be a refuge and a shelter for all souls, and especially for poor sinners. On that day, the very depths of my tender mercy are open. I pour out a whole ocean of graces upon those souls who approach the fount of my mercy. The soul that will go to confession and receive Holy Communion shall obtain complete forgiveness of sins and punishment. On that day are opened all the divine floodgates through which graces flow. Let no soul fear to draw near to me, even though its sins be as scarlet. My mercy is so great that no mind, be it of man or of angel, will be able to fathom it throughout all eternity. Everything that exists has come from the very depths of my most tender mercy. Every soul in its relation to me will contemplate my love and mercy throughout eternity. The feast of mercy emerged from my very depths of tenderness. It is my desire that it be solemnly celebrated on the first Sunday after Easter. Mankind will not have peace until it turns to the fount of my mercy. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I just love that it was St. Pope John Paul II, who is also a saint from Poland, which is obviously where Sister Faustina was from. That beautiful connection that they have, that cultural connection, Pope St. John Paul II is the one who canonized Sister Faustina to be Saint Faustina, and who instituted this feast that our Lord had asked for. So, this is an interesting fact. Saint Faustina recorded 14 revelations from Jesus concerning his desire for this feast alone. So he had many more revelations, but 14 on this feast, which is just really says how much our Lord desires this feast. So, a few things that just stand out to me about the Divine Mercy. First is this wonderful grace, right? And I think Father Ken of the Fathers of Mercy says it beautifully. We just shared this on our Instagram day, that it is a return to baptismal, it's like return to your baptismal state. Like after being baptized, you're free from all sin and all punishment. So it's a return to that baptismal purity with this Divine Mercy, by having received confession during the season of Lent, Father Ken said, and then receive Holy Communion in the state of grace on Divine Mercy Sunday. And I think as Catholics, we need to hear that more and more, that this is a once a year opportunity, which is an incredible grace that up until the year 2000, none of the Catholics before had this type of a grace, as far as I'm aware. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But returning to your baptismal graces, that wasn't possible. Of course, we have the sacrament of confession. And of course, we have the various indulgences that remove, some of the punishments and some of the punishments, reparations that would be required, even though the sin has been forgiven. But a total wiping clean of the slate is really something incredible, and that we only have in really recent years. And I think that speaks to, so first, it's important for Catholics to know that, if you haven't got your confession this Lenten season, go tomorrow, go today. Be sure to get that confession in. Be sure to attend Mass and receive Holy Communion in a state of grace, so that you can take part and just drink up these graces and soak in these graces, because it's a once a year opportunity. And of course, tomorrow is not guaranteed. Keeping our eyes and our hearts on eternity will help us see that this is a truly special opportunity. So I really just want to encourage you, make sure, of course, Catholics of Goodwill, we're going to Mass on Sunday anyway. We're receiving Holy Communion in a state of grace. That's what we should be doing. But understand that this Sunday is not like other Sundays, and we have a special opportunity. So I want to just encourage you to really embrace devotion and those graces this Sunday, understand that you are wiping clean. The slate is wiped clean, Father Ken said. And I just love that, that mental, that visual image of wiping the slate clean. We don't have a lot of opportunities to do that. And so it's a beautiful opportunity. So the second thing that I remember when I was reading Sister Faustina's diary that really just struck me, and I've heard I've read blogs and I've heard other videos talk about this, so this is nothing new, but it's just what was most striking to me. And that is that there are the times of, well, I'll just share a little bit. So the reason that it was so compelling when I first read this was because I'm very, very, just me personally, as a human being, from the time I was a child, I felt if there was an injustice, it really bothered me. Very much driven by justice, of what is just and what is unjust. There is a right and there is a wrong. Some people call that being black and white. And that's okay. That's me. And I just had my whole life just such a strong sense of that is unjust and I will not stand for it. And, there have been times where that wasn't excellent in my life, and other times where I was, but I was always happy. I was always happy in the end because there are objective truths in the world. There is objective good and evil, and every act that we do is either just or unjust. And that's just, and it can be just and unjust to different people in the situation. Maybe it's just to one person, it's an injustice to another. But objectively, there is this truth. And that was something I just always had deep inside of me. And so anytime I would encounter injustice, it disturbed me deeply. And, that's not something always easy to deal with, but that's just how God made me. So even before I was a Catholic, I remember being 7, 8 years old and just being so convicted that this is an injustice. There's something wrong here. And that's just kind of how I was. Well, anyway, and I still am that way. Well, that background is important because when and then I went on to become Catholic, which is perfect because there are objective truths. There are right and wrong ways of practicing our faith and living as a Christian. Objective truth and moral law exists, and that has been developed and maintained for 2,000 years. And so that's why being Catholic works really, really well for me, in addition to the fact that it is just factual. But that is why being Catholic was very attractive to me. I don't have to come up with all the answers because it's black and white in a lot of ways. I give that background because when I was reading the diary of Saint Faustina, and I haven't read the entire thing. It's pretty big, so pardon me on that. But what struck me so deeply, somewhere in there, and I'm sorry I don't have the citation handy, is that mercy trumps justice. This really, really rocked my world at the time. And it's true. First and foremost, it is true. Mercy does trump justice. And in fact, in order to be forgiven, in order for any of us to be forgiven, mercy must trump justice. Because if we live in a truly black and white, economy of salvation, we are terrible sinners. We deserve hell. That's what we deserve. So when God enacts his justice on us based on the choices we have made, if it was only justice, we would go to hell, right? Like, there's not a soul that would be saved. Zero. And so that's why when I read that, I was very convicted about that yes, there is objective truth and objective good and all of those things, but there was something greater than justice in the moral scale, in the way that things are, in the salvation economy, in salvation history. Mercy trumps justice. And I was just so moved and so struck by that. The other big thing that one of the big messages that our Lord came to tell St. Faustina is that now is the time for mercy. The time for mercy is now, and the time for judgment will come. So let's sit on that for just a minute here. The time for mercy is now. And so our Lord has given us a period of time that will end. And I think it's really, really important for us to keep that in mind. Time of mercy that will end. And during this time of mercy, he has poured out extraordinary graces through the divine mercy. But I think obviously devotion to the Sacred Heart is very closely related to this. This time where unfathomable mercy and graces are available to sinners. Mercies and graces that were not necessarily available as freely before, quite possibly. That our Lord is, the way I sort of process it or think about it is he's kind of, which he has always gone above and beyond. He has gone so far beyond what is even required or what we could ever ask. But in some extraordinary way, he has taken his mercy a step further. He's, I don't want to say that he has lowered the standards, but he is like so just really going out of his way to extend mercy to as many souls as possible before it's too late. And so, of course, I don't want to say that he was less merciful before or anything like that. The church doesn't teach that, and so don't take that the wrong way. But this time of mercy is a special period in history where these extraordinary graces, our Lord is overextending himself as a way to understand. He's taking that step towards us. He's showing us his heart. The graces are pouring out, the fount of mercy. That's his heart for us on the cross, with the blood and water flowing out. And so let us be encouraged to draw near to that mercy, to soak in and accept and embrace and receive that mercy. Because what happens after the time of mercy, the time for justice comes next. And that's what our Lord said, as far as I understand. It is a little bit, and that is the part I really understand. Because as I shared, I'm all about justice. That's me. I understand justice deeply. And so I also understand very deeply that I am a sinner. And that if my eternal destination depends on justice, I know where that would be. And so when I said, when our Lord said the time for mercy is now, the time for justice is coming, or justice or judgment, one of the two, the time for justice is coming. I know what that means. I understand that so deeply. And that is why I'm so, passionate about telling other people, hey, this mercy right now, this is extraordinary, limited time here. And of course, it's a beautiful message because we all have limited time here. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us. As much, nothing in this life is guaranteed. But while we are here, let us be encouraged. Let us approach our Lord with a penitent heart, and be able and willing and ready to receive the extraordinary mercy and the extraordinary graces this Sunday for Divine Mercy Sunday. If you're just tuning in, we're just wrapping up on Divine Mercy Sunday this Sunday. If you have received the sacrament of confession during the Lenten season or recently, and then you receive communion in a state of grace on Divine Mercy Sunday, Father Ken at the Fathers of Mercy says, as our Lord revealed to St. Faustina, that we will be returned, we will obtain complete forgiveness of all sins and punishment. And as Father Ken said, that's a return to our baptismal graces, the slate being wiped clean entirely. So be encouraged to really embrace this Sunday. Go in and be prepared to receive those extraordinary mercies and graces. And the other thing, I want to give you a little update on the Catholic Economy Forum. Speaking of graces, we have had such a blast promoting this event. I am so grateful for all the people who have reached out, and they're so excited to join us. I have had people who had just been following along and maybe use our app sometimes, but they say pretty soon I see, oh, they got a ticket. They picked up a sponsorship. They're gonna be there at the event. So this is a beautiful event, and I'm just so grateful to see the community coming together around the Catholic Economy Forum. If you haven't yet heard, the Catholic Economy Forum is our inaugural event at Catholic Owned, and it is open to all Catholics. This is something really special and unique. We are bringing together our entire community. At Catholic Owned, we are building the new Catholic economy. And a whole Catholic economy, if you think about it, has a lot of people in a lot of different roles. We have Catholic professionals, we have Catholic business owners, and we have everyday Catholics like you and me. We buy things. We want to buy more of the things we buy from fellow Catholics. So bringing all of these people together, obviously speaking laity, but honestly, even our religious, even our leaders, they buy things too. So I always like to joke that Catholics are people too. We buy everything that everyone else buys. And it's kind of funny, but so the Catholic Economy Forum is bringing together people of all walks of life, all Catholics who care about supporting one another. We hear time and time again that Catholics don't support each other. We all lament this, we all feel this deeply, and it is something that we all struggle with. And that's not because we're not trying. It's not because we don't care for whatever reason, and we'll be discussing those reasons at the event. We don't support each other. And so this event is really designed to be sort of a turning point in our movement. At the event, we have some incredible things planned for you. First up, we are hosting on a venue. It's a virtual venue, so you can attend from anywhere. But this is also just not a Zoom conference at all. This is nothing like anything you've ever been to. I absolutely guarantee it. And not only that, but after this event, you will never look at online events the same. So this is really raising the bar on what online events can and should be going forward. So we're absolutely honored to be leading the charge on that in the Catholic world. And we would love for you to be there to experience it live. In this venue, you basically, it's a virtual building, and you navigate the different floors. You take the elevator up. There's a sponsor hall, and we have some incredible sponsors to showcase what they're offering. You can walk up to people, and so there's networking time. You just click over and walk up and start a video call with them. You walk up to the booths and talk to the people there. You will also see on the main stage where the different speakers are going to be presenting from. And we have a special offer to take advantage while you're there. Just so many things. I don't want to go on and on. But the event is going to be super interactive, and it's going to be packed with excellent information, insights, and you're going to leave inspired and empowered. Very important. Empowered to align more of your purchases with your Catholic values. So some people have said, oh, I'm a business owner. Is this good for me? Yes. I'm a professional. I don't have a business. Is this good for me? Yes. This is good for all Catholics who care about supporting one another in how we work, spend, and do business. And so I invite you to join us live. The event is coming up 6 days away, which I can't even believe. 6 days away on April 16th. The event is online between 12 and 3 p.m. Central Time. And I really encourage you, grab your tickets. I don't know if they'll sell out. It's our first year. But if they do and you wanted to be there, I will be so sad for you. So grab your tickets before they're gone. And then the other question some people have asked, do I need to, stay the whole time? I really encourage you to stay the whole time. On this platform, the way that the platform works and the way that we have structured this for you, we expect you at the end to say, that flew by, we want more time next year. Because it's just an incredible platform. And of course, I am super pumped for you to hear from our speakers. So, and then the other big thing, I am one of the speakers. and I'm going to be presenting, I just can't wait. So I'm going to be presenting two big things. First is our State of the Catholic Economy report. This is so important. We have done our own proprietary research on the Catholic economy. So this year's report is the foundation for future years' research, and the results are absolutely stunning. And I can't wait for you to see the results of this study. And second, I'm going to be making a huge, massive, amazing announcement about what is coming next for Catholic Owned. I will give you a hint. It is related to our platform, and I cannot wait for you to see it. So join us live, grab your tickets. The link is in the description of this video. The link is on our website. If you go to catholicowned.com, there's a pop-up right there. Click that to be taken to the event page. Whatever you do, secure your tickets and plan to be with us on the 16th. It's going to be absolutely incredible. The Monday show is actually going to be, so Monday show of this show, the live stream, Catholic Owned Live, we're actually going to be I'm hosting our venue sponsor on the show. So there might be a little sneak peek of the venue. We're gonna see what we can do so that you can sort of begin to understand the difference of this type of event. And then, of course, our venue sponsor, Catalyst 501, incredible people. And I can't wait for you to meet them. I can't wait for you to learn about what they're doing. Really all about legacy and impact. And of course, that's perfectly aligned with us. So we're just honored. A big shout out to Catalyst 501 for their support. So they're going to be with me. RJ and Laura Leanne are going to be with me on Monday for the live stream. And, that'll be a beautiful lead up to our event on Thursday. But be sure to grab your tickets. Like I said, link is in the bio, link is in the video description. Go to our website. It'll click you over, click the pop-up to go to the event page. And then the last thing is, if you want to save 25% on your tickets, this is a ticketed event, of course, save 25% code Catholic Owned at checkout. We'll save you 25% on as many tickets as you want. So tell your friends, tell your family, drop it in the moms group chat, the young adult group chat. Let people know so that they can take advantage of this incredible event. So yeah, that's April 16th, 12 to 3 Central Time. absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait. So many people are going to be there. And it's just, we're so grateful for all of the support. The sponsors have been absolutely incredible. The ticket holders are amazing. They're reaching out with just such words of encouragement and inspiration. So thank you all so much for being here, for being part of the mission of Catholic Owned. And I cannot wait to see you on April 16th. That's going to do it for me today. This has been Catholic Owned Live, the Founder Friday show. This was our 10th Founder Friday, if you can believe it. Catholic Owned Live is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we talk about vocation, business, and how we really can live out our faith in our everyday purchasing decisions and what that can really look like. I hope you'll join me again next week, Monday at noon Central Time. I'll be live. And until then, I wish you a very blessed weekend, a wonderful, joyous, and blessed Divine Mercy Sunday. And I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you.